If you'll allow me, I have to go on a little rant about what Liverpool's looked like this year
I
because
think I
I've
texted you during the game. He
oh,
pulled a Carius.
he pulled the curious. There's a
Yeah.
shocking lack of urgency in the City
Yeah.
team, and that
Alrighty, here we go. Welcome. Beautiful game podcast. We're gonna be talking everything footy, starting off with the Premier League, Champions League. I'm just gonna dive right into it.
yes, sir.
So, I guess we'll go off straight off. What I watched, at least for today, was the Liverpool game. Um, Massive game if you think about it in the relegation battle and Champions League battle. But no, I think Liverpool wasted a lot of chances. I'm gonna be honest with you. From what I watched, that was the biggest thing. Um, Rio for me was the best player in Liverpool by far today. I think just chances he created and everything.
Yeah.
But obviously only 60 minutes, and I thought the subs were good.
Yeah.
But again, that's conceding Robertson giving away the goal, and last couple of minutes of the game is not ideal. And I think a lot of Liverpool fans, from what I'm seeing too now, are done with Slot. And obviously, you being a Liverpool fan yourself, I'm interested to see you think.
Yeah, so we have a very interesting look in at. I mean, you're a West Ham fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. So I think we both wanted the same thing, oddly enough, today. There are rare times where we're rooting for the exact same team. Um, and obviously, you can speak to it. I've seen probably 90% of the Liverpool games this season. Um, and one thing that's been crystal clear to me is that no one goal lead is safe. And typically when we're wasting chances, it's because we don't really have many of them from the other games. Like we routinely underperform going forward. We have a lot of maybes. We have a lot of we get into the final third, we have no good final ball. I watched the first half and I saw maybe a couple that we could have taken to make it two. But like immediately once we get to 1-0 and then it just gets deeper into the game, we lock up, we become timid, and we look tired. We look really tired down the stretch of games, which is why we've conceded so many late goals in games. It's quite bizarre to watch, considering what we watched last year and what I've watched for like over 10 years.
For sure. I think there obviously a lack in concentration near the end of the game was a thing. But again, for first half for me, I found Wirtz was getting into a lot of like ideal positions, but I think he's just got to have a bit more confidence in himself. Like there was a few like a ball in the 18-yard box, he played it wide to Rio and it was just too far ahead of him. But in my opinion, even there, some of those he's got to shoot. There's like he gets into the right spaces, but I also think there's been a lack of finishing in the final third for Liverpool. I mean, we see Sabola's live free kick again, and how many goals and how
Yeah.
many has he scored this season? So
Well, here's the interesting bit, right? Like Verts, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter getting on Verts, right? About his like lack of finishing edge. Like the passing, I have no doubt about. It's when he gets the ball just outside the 18 or inside the 18 and he doesn't kind of just put his foot through it. He scored one goal this season where he actually put his foot through it. And we went, where's that been? Like because he can leather it and he chooses not to. And it reminds me a lot of Soboslai in his first year. Because when Soboslai came in his first year, he was a road runner. He could play all positions. But we were looking at a number 8 in Liverpool red. So we thought, okay, this is the next Gerrard that we're gonna look at. Let's see how he matches up. And he wasn't like that. Like he was so timid to take shots. He looks Verts now looks like the same thing as Soboslai, where it's like you can see the obvious talent, and he's not. The confidence isn't there yet. So I'm waiting on that. If you'll allow me, I have to go on a little rant about what Liverpool's looked like this year because I've been waiting for this opportunity to actually say it on live instead of all my tweets. And I'll start with Jota, and you actually bring up Jota more than I do. Jota passing away at the beginning of the season, as much as it sucks, it's inescapable.
brutal.
Has completely had a dark cloud over the season. Like even when we started 5-0, we were
Yeah.
nervous. Like we were nervous about what the team was going to look like, how they were going to handle themselves. So there is a layer of excuse that can be built into that. But I'm just going to take you through the games we've lost this year. Just the games. We lost at home to PSV by 3 goals. PSV. We lost at home to Forest 3-0. These are both November. We lost at home to United when Amarim was there. and we looked second best. It was weird. It was weird to watch. We lost at home to City. Now City's less. You can kind of get on the City win less, but we'll get to the City West Ham game. They they look like a shell of themselves still, and it doesn't look like they'll catch Arsenal. We lost to Wolves away at the bottom of the table when we had the vast majority of the chances given. We've lost to
Wolves.
Galatasaray away twice, and we've lost to Palace 3 times, maybe 4 times before the end of the season comes. So we've had all these games. We've had the decay of the youth academy. So let me name off some guys. Harvey, Kwanzaa, Morton, Rio, Ramsey. We got rid of Harvey, Kwanzaa, and Morton. I still don't really know why. Like, the Harvey loan looks like a loan, but it's not. They
He hasn't played. He hasn't played.
He hasn't played because Villa don't want to buy him, because there was a expectation that if they buy him a certain amount of games, then they'll buy him for the price tag that they said at the beginning of the season. They're not playing him.
I also find he's one of those players that needs like to get going and like get a good around like a couple of runs of games. And he's a quality player. He's scored some beautiful goals, and without a doubt, I just think it's again confidence is
Absolutely. And you've seen him under Klopp. Like, he clearly has bags of talent. Like, look at Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa beginning of last season. Now, it's tough to criticize anything from last season. We won the league. There's nothing to criticize. But Kwanzaa, like, right from game one, was subbed after like 30 minutes, then wasn't given a chance, and now he's been sold to Leverkusen. He looks like he's going to be quite the player in like 5 years. Like, he's 21, 22 years old. Why we sold him with a buyback clause that's something we're not going to pay, I don't get that. I don't get Morton. I think we all saw Morton was good as Liverpool fans going into the season. In seasons past, when Klopp's given him chances, he's stellar at Lyon. You have Rio, who got his first Premier League start today, and we're in March. And he's very clearly the most explosive winger that Liverpool has. And I don't even get into Ramsey because I think Slot's completely mismanaged his development. But the youth academy decay is just brutal as well to watch.
Well, Rio was the best player against Wolves in that FA Cup match too, I believe.
Yeah, he ended the match, and then today again, you're saying he's
in my opinion,
stellar.
But he was the only one getting behind the back line. I mean, Salah came on and he caused some problems, but again, I found he's been struggling in the final third as well. Which is like again today was final third, and I found there was a lot of wasted counterattacking opportunities. Even near the end of the game, I mean, it was a block shot at Ekitike, I believe it was, who had it. But again, even him, he's in a cold run right now, I think. And again, I wanted to touch quickly too on Kwanzaa as well. Like, he played great versus Arsenal midweek in the Champions League. I mean, 1-1 draw, obviously, and Arsenal's playing a lot of games, but composing the ball and kind of similar position-wise. And I remember last year against Man City, I think he had a mistake again. I think it was against Man City at Anfield. He may have had a mistake. I'm trying to think, but he's one of those guys. I'm with you on. He's like the confidence, and obviously like it seems like a bit of a disaster. I mean, Gakpo post today, great save from the Spurs keeper. I forget his name off the top of my head, but there's a beautiful save.
Vicario got himself back actually for the free kick. That's another thing. Like, we scored our first goal. It was a well hit free kick. It should have been saved. It realistically, it should have been saved.
Yeah, I know. And again, even like the end of the second half, like even Mo Salah had a few chances to get in today. It was just there was no composure in the final third.
No, and that's another thing I kind of wanted to touch on with the performances and like the monotony of our play. Like, if you ask Liverpool fans who has watched the games from the start of the season to right now, they have seen this exact version of this game all the way littered throughout the season. Like, we were talking about bets, right? And you said Liverpool's a lock. Well, they weren't a lock.
No.
I could have told you that Richarlison could get an equalizer at the end of this game, and you'd think I'm crazy. But I guarantee you at least 50% of the fan base thought that's a distinct possibility. It's a distinct possibility. I thought when I saw Richarlison in the lineup, I thought that could happen. If we don't put him away, which we don't put teams away, that could happen. And that's another thing. It's the lineup selection, right? Like, I don't love Gakpo. I think I should get that clear. But I don't think he's been set up to succeed necessarily. Like, he'll play bad games, and then he'll have a string of 5 more starts, which breeds resentment amongst the fan base, which it has, like, genuinely it has, and doesn't help his confidence. Like, obviously, I know we've had injuries, but I think everyone's had injuries. We also spent like $1 billion in the transfer window, given we sold a bunch. but that also means that our depth went with it. So I don't think the planning of this season was set up for this season. I think it's set up for the future. But again, you have to look at it like if it's set up for the future and we're going to miss top four and you're not willing to get rid of this coach, what are we doing? And the last thing I think, and the thing that pisses me the most off about Slot genuinely, is his defense of the performances in the media. After a lot of games, and you wouldn't have seen this stuff. You're a West Ham fan. You're not going to watch the post games for Arnie. I watch these things, and he has such defense over the missed chances that we have. So I was curious. I went to the XG table, and I thought, okay, if we are performing so horrendously over like expected chances, like he's saying we're creating chances and we're not taking advantage of those chances. We're fifth in the XG table. Fifth. For creating chances, we're fifth. You know what we are in the real table? We're also fifth. So there's no differentiating from that. He's saying we're missing chances and that's the reason for these games. We're creating as many chances as we are in the league table. So it's there's so many excuses, and it gets to a point where I get frustrated because I don't know what the plan is. I've seen the same version of this game. I didn't even watch the full game, but I know how the game went. I know how the game went. We created probably a ton of chances against a bad team. And one more thing before because I've just taken up the floor here.
No, it's good.
I have rarely seen such a lifeless entity as I've seen Spurs for 2 weeks now. I was shocked at the Palace game. I was shocked at the Athletic game. And even then, after those two, I thought, we're gonna do something that's gonna give them a chance to win this game. Even that's how low my confidence is on the team. That I actually think Tottenham, as low as I've seen them, had a chance to get a point today, and they did. So
they almost equalized it at halftime. Alisson made a few good saves today too.
I did see that.
It was Richarlison had a few. He had a couple chances, and I mean Alisson again had a good game. And I was here. They said today? You guys haven't had a clean sheet at home since.
Really?
I think it's December. I think it may have been. I think they may have said it's December.
I could see that. I think we probably got like a 1-0 or a 2-0.
It may not be at home, or it may just be in. But. I think even with Gakpo, I think it's hard too because he's playing like it's almost like a center forward. He's not a striker, in my opinion. He's not a striker.
I don't think Gakpo's a striker. There's a lot of people who think he's a striker, and we tried that in the Klopp era.
He's more of a false nine.
Yes, he is not a central guy who's the top. He makes darting runs to the box from deeper areas, or he's on the left wing. But anyone has to teach him that there's a guy behind him making an overlapping run.
He's one of those guys sometimes when I see him play, I'm like, he's like you know how there's professionals and like they're good with both feet? He's almost like one where it's like he has like two left feet, like two opposite feet. Like you don't actually like it's like a Dembele from Wish almost. Kind of. in a sense. Yeah. In a sense, in my opinion. But I don't know. Again, then he could go and score 2 goals at Old Trafford. And like I've seen a few games, like again, because I think he really came on the scene after the World Cup.
Yes. He had a great World Cup. World Cup. And I
don't know where they played him though during the World Cup. I don't know if it was Cam or out wide. I can't.
The Dutch?
Yeah.
Oh, where they played him. I don't know. It really depended on what they had in the Dutch team because he could play left wing or center forward. But again, like I don't think he's a bad player. I don't.
No.
I think he's a player who can play at this level. I think he's a great finisher. I think that he's been misplayed in his current position. And if you look at Salah and his age, he should be playing higher up the pitch. I shouldn't be hearing about how Salah isn't tracking back.
He's not gonna do anything.
He does it, but it doesn't mean he's gonna be effective going forward. So if you're gonna ask him to go back, you're not utilizing Salah. So you either play Salah high up the pitch, where he's gonna be more effective, or you don't play him. But you don't tell us that you're not playing him because he doesn't come back on defense. Like you're telling me that Van Dijk isn't playing because he's not crashing into the box. Like there's different. Salah is a guy for 8 or 9 years who has been at the top level. And when those guys get old, you do not ask them to do more. You do not ask them to do the tracking back. If he can't play striker, then you just don't play him because you got Isak and you got Ekitike. But with Isak all these months, you could give Salah a stint up there.
Yeah, and he came off the bench today too.
He did, and there's just a lack of answers. That's another thing. Like there's just a serious lack of answers from Slot. Where I'm just like, does he know what he's doing in these big critical moments to hold on to a game or to win a game? I don't know if he does. I don't know if he does.
like I disagreed with Rio coming off after 60 minutes. I was like, I get getting your guy like Ekatike and getting Salah on, but I'll
Yeah,
be honest with you, I like even Frimpong. I can't judge him because he's had a bad stint of injuries, and I think he's
yeah,
great. He just needs to get going. Again, there's adjustment periods to the Premier League as well. I think the big issue too. Everyone's like, oh, well, like if you, for me, my biggest example is like if you look, Holland came in and he broke the Premier League record first year or whatever. You can't do like
yeah. People hold
that.
people to that bar.
It's like words or whatever. He's got like you're seeing kind of what we were sawing, but again, it's a different level of physicality wise, and even tactically, the game like I find it's just so physical now, and I've found there's been a lot more kick and run this year for sure, especially in those lower the games or whatever. And that's why the
Yeah,
games can be so wide open. But yeah, I mean Liverpool common theme all year, just not finishing games that they should be. Like
no,
this again, this could bite them. And Man United did them a favor today too.
they did because I mean one of those teams or both of those teams are going to lose
Yeah,
points.
and
But
Chelsea, Newcastle did Chelsea. Oh, you guys a favor as well.
yeah, it's weird, right? Because my expectations were just not that we're going to struggle this deeply into March just to make top four. I didn't expect us to win the league again with all the new guys. And one
No,
thing we can kind of segue into the next bit is you're talking about how it's a lot of kick and run. I remember for years where City was dominating the league. Well, semi-dominating. They were dominating. We were coming close, but they were dominating. And they had a specific style of play. It was possession. It was knocking the ball around. And then you would see teams like Norwich come up, and they would play a very similar style. And they
yeah,
would go straight back down because everyone below, not everyone, but a good portion of the teams below will try to mimic what's above. And what Arsenal's showing right now is that their brand is working. Therefore, a lot of teams are just sitting in,
it's so
preventing as much
ugly.
as possible. It's ugly. It's really ugly. And kudos Arsenal. They're gonna win the league. Like 99% sure they're gonna win the league.
I'll never
But
admit it.
it does mean that that brand of football is trickling down to the other teams, showing that it can work. Look at Sunderland. I look at the XG table. Sunderland's 18th in the XG table. Like they're not creating a lot of chances, but they're not
It
conceding. And
they're
that's
also
like the big thing for them, for a team staying up.
I would also say too they're out of the relegation battle in my opinion right now because I know they're sitting on 40 points, and if you look because
It's done
Forest
there.
are West Ham are 29, Forest are 29, Tottenham are now 30, Leeds 32, and then Palace are up 39. So yeah, again like it's 15 to 18 is wide open, and I mean today that
Yeah.
I and I guess I can touch now on my point on West Ham's weekend. Honestly,
Yeah.
as a West Ham fan, I can't even be mad about this weekend because like
Hmm.
nothing's changed. Honestly, in the relegation battle, if you look at it, Forest tied, West Ham tied, Spurs tied, and I actually think
Everything remained
yeah, Leeds
unchanged.
too.
Everyone tied. Everyone got a
Yeah,
point.
Leeds tied too. So
And
and
if you
like
looked
and
at
we played City,
yeah, if
and
you
we
look at
played
your
City.
fixtures, like you playing City, you're expecting that you're gonna lose some ground there. You gain a point, and everyone else gains a point around you. You can't really be too unhappy about that. And the fact that I heard this, and now I guess that the stats changed because Tottenham got a freaking point today. West Ham's picked up 10 more points this new year than Spurs has. 10.
Yeah, which
So you
is
guys are finding a way to win or not lose, which is huge. But like you said, the 15th to 18th, those are the four teams. One of
the,
those teams is going down.
there's a high probability it goes to goal differential. I'll be so honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, unfortunately, I think Burnley and Wolves are, and
It's
I
too
mean,
late.
Wolves. I mean, they've kind of had. I mean, they beat us 3-0, and then they beat you guys. So it just
Yeah.
seems to be a trend of Wolves. But yeah, I don't know. It's Forest. I mean, Forest and Palace this week lost, or not? Yeah. Forest lost in Europe this week, 1-0, I believe, and Palace were
I think
0-0 at home.
every single team other than Villa squeaked out 1-0 versus Lille, I believe, in the Europa League. Every other team either lost or drew. And the ones that lost, there's a good portion of them got walloped. Like absolutely walloped. We'll get into that because like
Yeah.
I want to talk about the old Champions League first legs. I want to talk about a little bit about how it's going to pan out because we have a lot of interesting games midweek. Like I'm looking
Yeah.
at these now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys got a lot. I still think you guys are gonna get by Galatasaray in my opinion. But no, I guess I'll touch quick like the West Ham and City game. I guess we can go into this just with the relegation battle and all of that. But in my like I said before, I'm not mad at all. I thought it was the back three was exceptional. The formation seemed to work, but again, City just seemed to have no conviction, no desire. I think when I was really starting to get worried was when Shirky came on. I don't know why he
Yeah,
didn't start, to be honest with you. Um, but again, Holland missed chances again. He's just been off the ball recently.
yeah.
Cole, I think it's 4 or 5 games now without a goal. But again, we were so compact in the back three that he just had nowhere to breathe. And again, when I mean, he's one of those guys that cannot touch the ball and he can score 3 goals. We know that for sure. But I think it's yeah, City just even Rodri usually he just seemed off the bar today again. So
Yeah, I texted you in the middle of that game, and I thought it was pretty early that I said this, and I don't think that means that I thought it was going to go this way, because it was early. But I said I think I texted you. There's a shocking lack of urgency in the City
yeah,
team, and that doesn't mean that I didn't think that like they were moving the ball into decent areas, but like they were kind of just playing around with the ball in West Ham's just over the halfway line, and they were just playing possession back and forth. And if they played it into the final third and they didn't like it, they recycled. That's fine. That's been their thing forever. We're going to pass you to death in the final third. But there was absolutely no conviction. And the only thing that broke that conviction was Bernardo having this.
what a goal!
I don't.
It was on purpose.
What a
It was
goal!
on purpose.
I don't think it was on purpose.
You can look
pull
at his
on that.
eyes.
I don't. The eyes. I think the eyes give it away because he's looking cross. I completely understand that if people say that it's on purpose. I don't think it is. It's a phenomenal goal regardless. Even if he doesn't mean it, it's a beautiful clipped cross.
Yeah, I mean our goalie Herman's a brilliant game. I know Graham Potter didn't really give him much of an opportunity, so I'm actually happy. I mean, again, the West Ham goalkeeper situation's been weird. Ariola's been in and out again. Like beginning of this year, during a period, I could have said, in my opinion, he was one of our best players. But I mean, you could also look at the run of form we were on for a while in there, but I think like Mavropanos, Disasi, and Todibo, Todibo, yeah, they were great yesterday. I think Diasi's been great for us because I mean, just he blocks shots, he can pass. I mean, we don't really pass out of the back that much to be honest with you. And then, I mean, my issue still that with this year, my biggest frustration has been Bowen, just a lack of conviction.
Yeah,
Again,
you've been saying that.
he said he had again made a few counterattacking opportunities yesterday, and it was just like go at them. Like I mean, I hope he makes the World Cup team, and that's going to be up in the air as well. But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed he would pass it away. Just again, confidence too, right? But yeah, I'm good with it. I'm on to the next, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how we end up doing. But
Yeah, and I have cautious optimism about West Ham. I texted you like 3 or 4 months ago. I thought Nuno was the right guy to hire. And although it was slow, like you guys have gotten there. Like I don't, you guys aren't playing free flowing stuff. Obviously, like you played City, you're not gonna match up their best with your best. You're gonna lock in defensively. You're gonna hold it for a period of time, and then you're gonna really give it a go near the end. And that's just how the relegation battle teams are gonna have to play from here on out. Even Tottenham may have just found their roadmap actually, which may be a little scary because they're not playing good. They have a ton of injuries. They have suspensions. They came to Anfield and tied without Van de Ven. So and that's probably their best defender, if maybe Romero, but
he's one of those. I mean Romero too. I mean he's
complete wild cards. Those guys like that. That's why they're in this position as well. Like there's a ton of factors, but they're not. I watched the Athletic game and that was just they're tough to watch. But they may have found a roadmap to get enough points. Is what I'm saying here.
Yeah, and I think our remaining games aren't actually that tough compared, I think, to Forest and Leeds and Spurs. I actually think we have the best.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly who I know, but yeah, I mean, so
I think you guys have a decent chance of getting out of that predicament. And I don't. 2 or 3 months ago, it was not this sort of optimism you had. Like it wasn't because you guys did not look good.
oh, I accepted relegation 2 months ago.
But you could see any of those. Is it four? Is it Leeds? Leeds, Leeds, Spurs, Forest, and West Ham. I could see any of those four going down. Even Leeds. Leeds has looked okay, but they're when you're looking at the table, 3 points is nothing.
What frightens me the most about going down is that Millwall
May go up.
has a high there's a high chance that they get promoted. And if we go down and they come up, I will never hear the end of it. I will never ever hear the end of it or recover. And I genuinely don't think we're gonna go down. I think Forest, and in my opinion, Forest goes down. But again, it's the Premier League. You never know. And like Spurs going down, I think everyone wants Spurs to go down. To be honest with you, like it's just it's so easy to go again. But
Even if you don't hate Spurs, like I don't innately hate Spurs. I know you're a West Ham fan, and that makes complete sense. I don't hate them. I dislike them for some moments we've had here and there with them in games, like the Diaz goal that was called offside, and then that was only a season and a half ago. But I just don't. I think everyone wants to see them go down as an experiment. Like we will never.
yeah,
I think if they stay up this year, we can put to rest the whole thing that a top six, not top six, the one of the big six teams can go down. Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna rejig everything. They're gonna make it more defensive. They're gonna have 1 year of like, okay, we need to keep this. We need to keep this bunch in the Premier League. That's what I think is gonna happen if they stay up.
I also think too Spurs is very much a business. Like I think they're up there with Real Madrid and like making money every year. I know
Yeah,
Daniel Levy. He's gone now, but I mean again, like for Spurs, for them, they want all the NFL games, they want all of that. And I mean, look at the stadium
yeah.
they built too. I mean, being that place is crazy when I went there for the few games. But again, yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it's the experiment and like
Like
the
what's gonna
unknown.
happen?
It's the unknown of like what actually goes down.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting to see a prime video behind the scenes of Spurs. I don't know. They're definitely not filming it, but again,
I know.
and you look at some of the players they have, and it's like for me, like Kudus went to Spurs to play in all of this, and it's like
European football, and now he's amongst the relegation battle with his
they
old
go
team.
down, it would just.
I know
But I
that
mean,
you'd personally get a kick out of that for sure.
yeah, again, I loved Kudus, but I was just like, it made no sense. I mean, like for me, again, it's like with the Rice situation. I always knew Rice was on the way out, especially the year we had after he
Yeah,
left. Like you got to accept it. I mean, but like Kudus for me, I'm like Spurs. I'm like, in my opinion, I'm allowed to leave. We're close to Spurs and
Mhm.
all of that. Again, West Ham where we've been before, but yeah, Kudus. I think a lot of West Ham fans had a sour taste in their mouth. I mean, it's like Paqueta too. Paqueta, I don't. You leave when we're at our lowest. Anyone, it's like again, it's like Payet situation
you're
as
getting
well.
out of a
Okay,
fire. Well,
yeah,
you're getting
we're
out of
we're
a
used
house on
to
fire. Yeah.
yeah, we're used to our bigger players making a scene leaving. I don't. I would.
Payet was a, kind of the first one I remember as that
I,
high profile. Like that one was because he wanted to go home.
it,
Um,
but I was mad because he signed. We gave him a new deal
yeah,
and a huge signing bonus, and then it was like 2 months, and he was out, and he wanted to be, and he was done. But again, yeah,
yeah,
it's. I don't know. I would say Rice was fine. We knew he was going. I can't be mad. We won. We won the Conference League first title for at least I've seen as a West Ham fan. I know my uncle,
yeah.
but and like we got good money for him, and like I can chirp now that I don't like Arsenal or that, but I'm like I have no hatred towards Declan Rice or
Yeah,
I can chirp them. It's Arsenal fans. I'll have conversation, but it's just like even I have some other friends, Arsenal friends. We're all this, and it's like how much money they spent, 6 years. Okay, now and again, in my opinion, you can I'll let you want your opinion on this, but I think City have choked in the opportunity with the opportunities they've had to catch Arsenal, like tying West Ham, they tied
Oh,
Forest. Like there's games they got to be winning.
absolutely. And I feel like I've said it. Maybe I said it early on hesitantly. I just thought Arsenal was the most structurally sound unit to win the league. And I didn't necessarily think that was they were my favorite team to watch.
Yeah.
But I understood pretty early on that Liverpool was not going to win this league. Uh, I just didn't think so.
I
I
thought
saw all the
beginning
new
you
players
were.
coming in. I knew Jota was a big blow, and maybe I would have thought that a little bit differently after we won the first 5 games. Given like you win the first 5 games of the season, you beat Arsenal at your place, like you're gonna be pretty confident. But then we just started losing, and then I looked at City, and I thought, they're keeping up. Let's see how they're gonna keep going on here. But the City team is not the same. It's not the same as the one that Klopp had to go against for years, right? Like it's not the one that can rally off 9, 10 wins in the league in a row. They just did 5 or 6, and I thought, that they should beat Forest. They got West Ham coming up next. Like you'd back them to win both of those games, and they draw both of them, one at home, and you just think like, what's going on? Like, is it Pep running out of ideas? Is it not the right players they have there?
I think it's a mix
Um,
because you have a lot of veterans now and you have a lot of new guys. I don't know if this
yeah.
makes sense, but they almost don't have like a medium core that have been there for like 3 or 4 years. You have guys who've been there for five. I mean, you have like your Foden, Rodri, Bernardo, but then you look at new guys who are playing. It's like Semenyo, Shirky, Donnarumma or whatever.
Mhm.
Gay now. John Stones he hasn't been fit, like properly fit since their treble season. Like he's
No,
just been Ruben Diaz. I mean, yes, like I guess you could say he's more of a medium core. Foden again. I've said this. Ever since that treble season, a lot of those guys I think have had trouble getting back to full. And I mean, you win four in a row, your
it's
motivation.
tough.
And I think that's why City got rid of Kevin De Bruyne, and like they're trying to get a lot of new guys and just to get the hunger back.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it's an adjustment too, and I just think also the way City play and their Semenyo is great. I love Semenyo. I think that was a great move for him, and he should have scored actually versus us.
I saw that actually. That was the end of the first half, right?
Yeah, that
They
he's at
yeah,
least on target. I think.
absolutely. And I think they've actually they've looked different since Semenyo came in. They've tried to play more direct. I actually think that Pep's try to be a little bit like, I'm not saying exactly like, I just think he wants to be more direct like Klopp was. Because those Liverpool teams he used to come up against constantly.
Guys
And
were
I
so deadly.
we were so deadly,
Pace,
right?
fast pace, and like I don't know. That's like even with right now, like solid, just the urgency and like even with Mane just taking one guy's on crosses into the box. I feel like there's just like even the Premier League this year. I've noticed there's not has been as much like winger one on one. It's more been like like trying to skin them and like shoot in or like crosses. I
Yeah.
find like there hasn't been as much of it. Obviously, there's like Roger yesterday. He had a couple of good balls into the box, but I'm saying like a winger just goes 1v1 and right in. Like it
Mhm.
happens, but I don't think as much as we've seen in previous years.
And that's another thing I was going to bring up, maybe a little bit, tiny bit off topic, but Rodri, since he's come back from injury, he looks a little slow to me, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
Doesn't he just look like a pace, like a step slower
I
to
mean,
me?
I'll give him like he had a bad injury, then he came
Oh,
back, and I think
absolutely.
it was another injury as well. And like there was just a couple times yesterday, like easy passes, you could just see with the lack of concentration. I think with his, he'll get
Yeah.
back up, but like it's also like reiterated like how important he is to them.
Mhm.
But they got to find a way to get Holland going, like bad.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is, right, the way to get Holland going is unfortunately, you have to get the guys going around him. Because if the guys around him are not creating, not scoring, teams will just double him up on crosses, on entries into the box. Like that's
Yeah,
what we would do. Like Liverpool would put Ibu and Verge on him and just wouldn't let him breathe. But if someone else could go through like a Foden or a De Bruyne, they would kill us in those little transitionary periods down the field. Because it's just you can't go one on one with Holland. The only one I've actually seen successfully have a game where they've won at Holland is Van Dijk, but he's different. He's different. Like
yeah,
you
he's
can't expect Ruben Diaz to do it. You can't expect maybe in time Saliba could do it, but it's not fruitful to go one on one. So people
yeah, like
double up on him, they triple up on him. They know
Rudiger
that
shut him
he's going to
down.
get limited chances, and then Holland has to take limited chances, which he's been good at in the past. But it's not just easy what he does. Like going back to the thing you said about his first season in the Premier League, that's a tough bar.
2 goals for his West Ham opening day. I remember I was like, oh, Craig Dawson's just gonna lock him up.
Tough
No,
bar.
no,
Tough,
no.
tough bar to set and then continue on with.
But
It's
again,
just
like,
tough.
yesterday the chances he missed, he's been scoring those. So that again, like it's
True.
they're humans at the end of the day, and Holland, like he's proven that why he, in my opinion, he has to be up there. Like him and Kane. I mean, you can say Mbappe. There's like so many of like your arguments, but I think just again, if the Ballon d'Or he probably should have won. I mean, Messi won strictly off. I'm a Messi fan. World Cup. I think
Yeah.
Holland should have. I
We're
will
both
give
Messi
it.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, again, back on that, I don't know. He'll be fine, but I just think like I agree with you. Just like this weekend, kind of really proved that like Man City have just it seems like there's no catching Arsenal at this point. And I think you said
Yeah.
Arsenal don't have a hard end of the season either. Except
No, I
there
looked at the
is
schedule.
there
It's
is
a City
Arsenal
game.
City. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a City game. But again, like if they just draw that game, the title's done. City have to win, and then Arsenal is going to have to drop some really winnable games, like really, really winnable games. And let's touch on Arsenal before we go to Champions League because I don't want to speak much about the performance because I've kind of harped on about Arsenal's performances.
It's the
It's
same.
a lot of time it's dull. Like a lot of times it's 60 to 70 minutes of dull, 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 dull. Even when they played poorly against Leverkusen in midweek, Saka was the one who was pulled. They brought in Madueke. They got a penalty that I don't think was a penalty, but it changed the game. And they got a result out of it. They didn't win, but they got a result. And you win away in the first leg. Sorry, and you draw away in the first leg of Champions League tie, you're going to take that advantage back home. They're probably going to wrap that up if I'm betting on it.
Yeah, I think so. Like Gyökeres, I don't think he didn't start today or today, sorry, yesterday. He didn't start.
No, but then he came on and he scores that goal, and the goal virtually comes out of nothing. It actually comes out of the one thing that I think Pickford's a phenomenal keeper. I have every reason to hate him, and I do, to be honest with you, because he's given it to Liverpool so much
Yeah.
over the years. He was responsible for Verge's massive injury with a brutal
Yeah.
tackle that was never penalized. Like, I have
Yeah.
reasons to hate him. I think he's a phenomenal keeper. He has one shortfall. He This is going to sound super simplistic. He has short arms.
He does.
He has
That was
tiny
bad
little
yesterday.
dino arms, and he couldn't reach the ball. I wish I was kidding. You saw in the replay, he's going for it. He doesn't get it. Number 5, I forget his. It's the new center back, Hincapié, who plays out wide instead. Gets the little
Yeah.
touch on it, the nod down, and then
I think
Gyökeres
I
just
don't
has
know.
to tap it in.
Yeah, again, in my opinion, Gyökeres, like people like they give him a lot of crap, but I think Arsenal just need a striker that like I think Arteta said it too. He was like, I need a striker that's going to score goals, but can also go 3 or 4 games without scoring. And like as you've seen how they play, again, like it's like Saka. He
Yeah.
statistically he does not look like you wouldn't be like, hey, he's one of the best players. And like again, I have my issues with them, and like again with him a lack of urgency sometimes in his final third play or whatever. But. I don't know. Again, Arsenal they're finding ways to win, which they weren't doing in previous years. That's been the biggest thing, and they're winning the games they need to win.
And that's
That-
what happens. Yeah, that's what happens.
That's all it is. It's like
Right.
when you guys won. Yeah, you guys last year. It was just you win the games you need to win, and like just. But again, it's. I thought it was going to be. It's not done yet, but City have to. I think they have to win every single game now.
And they
Every single.
have a lot to play for. Like, they're not just going to give away their second leg to Madrid. They're going to think they can go into that and somehow win it. Pep's going to be putting that into them that they can win it. And when they don't, which I don't think they will. I mean, obviously they could. Madrid, this is not the greatest version of Madrid ever. But 3 goals is a ton to overturn for a
Mbappe's
team like
back.
that.
I mean, Mbappe's back. I think Madrid have been fine, but I mean, man, like if you think about, look who didn't play in that. I guess we can go into our Champions League now. I guess transition it. If
We
you
can
have anything,
transition right in. I actually want to talk a little. I just want one last thing. I thought Dauman was phenomenal.
you
just-
can't hate it. He's 16, man. Like
He's phenomenal.
the-
He
the
came into the game and
composure-
he changed it.
the compose. I mean, yeah, I'll say the first one, the cross was dangerous. Finally, just like and Arteta said it too. But I mean, I watched the game as well, and just like confidence at that age, and just like running, defending, tight
Unbelievable.
spaces, and I think again they just need to keep developing. He's playing. Again, you could compare this similar to like Rio. Obviously, I think Rio. I don't know the age difference. Rio is he
I think
17?
Rio's just a year older.
Okay, you're older, but like
Yeah.
again, I don't think he's played as much. I think Rio's played a bit more, maybe. But again, like I think
Maybe. Yeah.
yeah, Rio's got to keep playing. But yeah, no, like just that, and then again the composure on the second goal. Could have
Yeah.
easily just kicked it, but no, just
Absolutely. And I kudos. I'll very rarely give my kudos to Arteta. I thought it was a great sub because he subbed him at the right time, and genuinely he changed the game.
you need something.
I
Yeah.
thought he changed it. The very first action he had, a ball was played into him squarely. Guy was coming to him, and he opened up his body and did this beautiful turn as he slid by, and he just walked towards the 18-yard box. He looked so comfortable from his first touch. I was amazed how good he was doing. And I thought I don't know if he won man of the match, but he should have.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't think you can credit him with the assist on the first one. I forget who it hit off.
No, it would have been,
It was an Arsenal player.
It would have
that
been
hit it off.
Hincapié.
Yeah,
Or
Hincapié.
Mascara. It's either Hincapié or Mascara who gets that little nod on. Kind of comes off his chest, his knees. And it drops to Gyökeres.
But again, you could say it's like the year like I compare always when like people score tap-ins, but like you still got to be there. You
Still gotta be there.
It's like Holland, he scores those goals, he's still got to be there. But also like a striker, that's their job. That's the thing. It's so easy now for people I find to like, he scored, but it was a tap-in anyone could do. I'm like, okay, but if you're concentrating for 90 minutes, the movement and just like I mean, he got subbed on obviously, but right place, right time. Like again, it shows like that's
No,
my-
it shows desire. It shows
yeah.
the desire to play through the entire whistle. And I kind of compared it a little bit with do you remember when oh man, why am I forgetting him? Origi. Remember Origi scored that goal? Comes off the bar twice. Pickford doesn't deal with it. No one else
Just
is
his header.
going to stand next to Pickford thinking he's going to fuck that up. Verge hits it, turns away, Like no one gave up, and he's the only person who doesn't give up on it, and he deserves the goal because of it. It's like it's just desire. A lot of people are not going to go to that same spot that Gyökeres goes to. And while I don't think Gyökeres is the greatest signing of the season, personally, I think he's quite average. I think, he's kept with it, and that's a great position for him to occupy as a striker, and he deserves that goal.
I think he's at 14 or 15 goals now in the Prem. I think
He's 14 or 15.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check that.
There without a doubt, he definitely does. I think he's up. I mean, that was like Bruno Fernandes now at 16 assists.
Oh, he may. Is it in all comps? In all comps makes more sense because I don't see him on this list.
Oh yeah, no, he's at 11 in the.
He's 11. Okay, so all comps makes a lot of sense. That's not a bad return.
Again, it's also
not. Ekitike has like 15 or 16.
Yeah, I do ball. Man.
He's a baller. I mean, obviously on eye test you're going to go with Ekitike, but I'm just saying as a striker.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, again, I know we can talk about the Champions League, a bit of a couple blowout games for sure, but I guess I want to start with the Man City Madrid game. I think Man City.
We have to start with that one.
I'll be honest with you. Going in, I was like, I think Man City are gonna. I thought Man City were gonna win it, but I also think everyone was going that way. But then at the same time, you have Mbappe not playing. Bellingham was out. I'm trying to think who else they were missing. They were missing
Bellingham
Alaba.
Was up in the stands.
Alaba was out.
To be fair, I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, I feel
everyone
bad.
was going like, "Oh no, they're starting lineups in disarray without Alaba." Like he's a backup at that point.
He's been injured for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, man, Valverde just lit them up.
I think he's phenomenal.
And he scored again.
He's so good.
Again yesterday.
Did he score again yesterday? I thought, just like you and probably others did, that City was going to win that game or at least get the edge going into the second leg.
Yeah.
For even more reasons than just the injuries on Real Madrid's side. I mean, they've lost to Getafe at home. They've lost to, I think it was Celta Vigo. I'm probably wrong, but I think they lost to Celta Vigo at home too. It was Getafe and someone else. And they've done it back to back. And they have Arbeloa there. And to be completely honest with you, I have no idea about him. I have no clue. I can't even make a judgment because I've never seen him coach. He's never coached another team I've seen.
I know.
I've no idea. There's a complete unknown. So going into that game, you got to think the City has the edge. And Valverde pounces on the first chance. Just pounces on it. Donnarumma, kind of an error on his end because he could have hit it.
Yeah, I think he thought he was going to be outside the box.
Yes. That's just awareness.
First goal, Donnarumma should have had it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was... I mean, with the second goal... Yeah, was it the Vinny Jr. and then he got in behind the left foot for...
Takes a great touch with his right foot to get
great
it
finish.
Wide and outside so he could hit it. And it's a great finish. He has two great feet. He can absolute pile drive it with either.
No, that guy can strike a ball. He can strike a ball.
It's ridiculous. It goes... Because Szoboszlai doesn't want to, but Szoboszlai can strike a ball. Valverde can strike a ball. There's others maybe, but I've seen some goals Valverde scores outside the box where it's a pile driver. He can really hit it. And then the third one, go ahead. I mean, the third one's insane.
Yeah, he made Mark maybe re-question his decisions. But yeah, again, City just never got into the game.
Never got into the game and could have lost by more. Vinny misses a penalty second half.
I know.
And that's down to kind of, Vinny's a double-edged sword. He is so confident, but sometimes that hurts him. He's strutting up to the ball, doing that little run and jump.
He's been in great form, but he also loves playing against City. He loves playing against City. He
plays great.
I think Man City going into the second leg, you got to go. It's going to be attacking, of course. I think Shirky for me has to start.
For sure. That's probably why he doesn't start against West Ham.
Yeah. It's like Marmoush again. I find he's been one of those mixed guys. Again, I give City credit for beating Newcastle away 3-1. That St. James's Park is not an easy place to go. And I know people have been questioning Pep Guardiola's team selection a lot, but again, that proves it. But I think you got to get all those guys going. Holland's got to find Foden. I don't know if he can. He hasn't played enough, in my opinion.
No, he probably hasn't, but I'm kind of one of those people who thinks Foden kind of wastes his talent a little bit. And that's probably a heavy statement, but I think he's talented enough to be one of the greatest players on the planet right now. And he doesn't play like it. He plays very timid. Whereas, sometimes he won't play timid. But a lot of the time, it's very timid. And I don't know. Something is very off-putting about him. It feels like you can only get the best out of him out of one position, and if you don't play him in that position, then he looks a little bit chicken with his head cut off to me.
Oh yeah.
I think he's phenomenally gifted.
Oh yeah, that PFA player of the season,
Yeah,
he deserved
phenomenally
that
gifted.
fully. Yeah. Again, I think he's one of those guys that just needs to like consistently stay. He needs to stay fit. He needs to get going.
He needs to stay fit, and he just
Um,
needs to play with a little bit more edge to him. Unfortunately, he's always going to be compared to KDB. It's always going to happen. You see a City, he's probably supposed to walk right into his shadow and continue that legacy on, right? KDB has the killer instinct of a shark that you just can't find anywhere. And unfortunately, when I compare him with Foden, it's gonna be different. Um, I just want to see him get to the level where I know like he's so physically and technically talented that he needs
I,
to get there
I hope he gets going because England are going to need him. They
for
are going to
sure.
need him, and
They won't start him.
I I wanted to ask you your opinion. I'll tell you mine first before I get
Mhm.
yours. But I thought Trent played great. I mean, defensively he got
Mhm.
skinned a couple times, but there's a few times winning the ball back. And I also find he's so good in those tight areas of getting them out of the back, like their own final third and getting them out. That's
Yeah,
where I think he's been. And I'm happy. Like I feel bad for him. A lot of injuries and in since he started or
yeah.
whatever. And I know Liverpool fans are. You're obviously sour about how it all went down. So I don't know. I wanted your opinion
Like
on how.
so, the whole thing about him leaving, obviously, I was quite upset because you'd think a Liverpool kid born and raised would stay. With that being said, I can kind of evaluate this on its merits. Trent has never been a great defender, never been. But
Never
what he
will be.
does do well, I don't think anyone else on the planet can do. Like, from the right back position, he can quarterback the game. And when he was at his best at Liverpool, the reason I thought, other than the fact that he's a Liverpool guy, that he should have stayed at Liverpool is because he can do whatever he wants. He can be the quarterback. He can get away with Doku skinning him 5 times a game because you're going to have help in behind. You're a Liverpool kid. It's always going to. But now you go to Real Madrid, and I'll be honest, I feel like he's on the Beckham path where they're going to hate him for like 1 or 2 years. And then they're going to finally be like, okay, let's just assess him on his merits
Yeah.
because what he's good at is world class, and what is literally like his position is right back. So a lot of the old heads will think, if he can't defend, I don't want him to play. Sometimes you have to have him play. It's actually the reason I don't think he starts for England, but he comes off the bench in the summer
Was it
and provides like infinitely more than
him
anyone else
and
could.
him and Reece James? I don't know if it was Trent played. Or maybe it was only one game. He played in that CDM role. Or Reece James has been playing for
Yeah.
Chelsea right now. How they both can kind of do that. I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Like, if you, what's the? I don't know if I could put. I'll put the clip or whatever. The pass against West Ham, the outside of his foot to Salah.
Oh, it's disgusting.
That may be what. Or I mean, like for Trent, my biggest remind. Every time I think of Trent, I just think of the assist to Origi Barcelona, first Barcelona
Of
Champions League,
course, corner
the
take
corner.
correctly. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I think again, it's like with Trent in a new situation like that, you need to stay fit early
Mhm.
on. I think again that was like Calvin Phillips from Man City. It's another one. You just never got fit, and you never get going in those
No,
big clubs.
no, and that's a tough one to actually. Yeah.
It's a tough comparison, but I
Mhm.
think Trent. I mean, you have also Carvalhal's the captain at Real Madrid. I think he may be gone at the end of this year. I don't quote me on that, but I know.
Yeah.
And then he was playing over Trent a few games, but again, like I think Trent will be fine. But again, you also have like the back, and you have Courtois. So
I know, and Real Madrid is just a whole different planet, right? Like Real Madrid and Barcelona, you can kind of group a little bit into the same thing, but even Real
he's
Madrid more so. The fandom, the fans are, I hope they don't mind me saying this, so spoiled. They're so
they're
spoiled for great
wait,
players that when they see one who doesn't do some things that they want in a right back, they will get on him all the time, and that's okay. It's your right as a football fan, but in general, like he will have to go through the ringer multiple times before they actually accept him.
oh
Truly,
yeah,
because he is
without a doubt.
phenomenal at what he does. He can open a game up like no other. He'll ping an 80-yard long ball like it's nothing. But if you need him to stop Doku, I'm sorry, you're gonna need to send 2 or 3 guys. Because like you said in the game, he got. I only watched the first half and a bits of the second half.
It was
He
Doku.
got yeah, and Doku can make mincemeat out of him. The issue with Doku, and the issue I've kind of always had with Doku is that he is a bit of a street footballer in the way he takes guys on. He will beat two or three, but I don't ultimately think it gets him to the best positions or that he has the best finishing product. Because if he did, we'd talk about him so differently. Like he's so talented with the ball at
He
his
can
feet.
do it. He can score, man. Some of the
He
goals he
can, but
scored,
he
but it's
doesn't do
just
it often.
yeah, that's the problem.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
it's. I mean, I don't know about you. It's like Real Madrid and Barcelona. I still want Barcelona to win over Real Madrid. If I had to
I mean,
pick one.
personally, I'm not gonna pick Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean,
We've been beaten by them twice in finals. Like I have nothing but I've admiration and respect for them, but
yeah,
I don't like them.
Unfortunately, I don't think Man City are gonna do it. I don't even know. Like, I think Madrid score probably. They've been because Man City, like again, they've been conceding like nothing.
I just don't see it.
And if anything, they got to score early.
Yeah,
But again, they're also missing like the experience too. Like you had like Gundogan, you had. I didn't even know
I know.
Kovacic. Kovacic is still at Man City.
Is he really? I haven't watched
Yeah,
him play. Has he
he's
been
just
injured?
No, I don't know if it's injury or if he's just not playing. Again, but then you have like those guys gone. You have
Wow.
KDB, who's obviously gone now too.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. That's my opinion at least.
I just don't see City coming back in this one. I think Real Madrid will go through. I think it'll be phenomenal to see Pep have one more in him because I don't know if he'll stay past this season. As much as I hate City for what they've taken from us,
I
from
think
Liverpool,
company.
I you think
Com-
company? I don't. That's
My thing is
interesting.
that if Pep stays one more year, I think because he's always kind of said company's been a coach or whatever. And I mean,
Yeah.
again, I won't go too deep into the company situation. I think like the Bayern role, obviously, I mean, it's easy to say any coach is going to go be successful at Bayern, but Tuchel didn't win anything. What
Yeah.
he's been doing is great. But again, like Burnley got relegated and you get the Bayern job. So it's a bit of a,
You got quite fortunate with that.
yeah, but again, like they're like, Diaz going there at least. Like I still think Bayern have a chance to win it all. And
Yeah, let's talk about the Bayern game because I didn't watch much of it, but I mean they just smoked them, and they're through. I mean they won. Was it 6-1?
Yeah, it was 6-1 final. And I think it was
Yeah.
6. It was 0 at one point.
I think
Or,
Atalanta
it was.
snuck one in, thinking, "Oh
Oh.
boy, is it on?" No, they're dead in the water, and Bayern's just a phenomenal team who really doesn't have to be at top gear against a team like Atalanta or in their league to win either. You know what I mean? So that's why they're so
No.
dangerous. And that's not any shade on the German league. They've played themselves into the position now where they're going to win the league, and Atalanta's a good draw for them, right?
Yeah,
So they're gonna go through in that one, and I think they match up with Madrid if
I
I'm
think
right.
their goalies are injured right now. I think I was
All
reading
of
it
them,
today on
yeah.
like the U18 guy may have to play or whatever. But again, like they train those guys to be ready and
Time to
like
get
I
Harry
think
Kane in there.
who's
Get
the I mean again, but Bayern though they have a lot of good young guys who are now like just like doing what I think is his name is it Carl? I don't know if it's Carl.
Leonard Carl.
Leonard Carl, yeah.
Leonard Carl's
I
a
mean,
good little
I
player.
know he said some stuff in the media, but again, they're young. Like anyone's gonna say they want.
They're young. They're dumb. They're
And then
gonna
and, he,
say
and then
some
he's and then he signed a new contract. So, and then Elise, that guy is just like I think that's what a professional footballer. You never hear anything about him in the media. He just wants to ball.
And Diaz, a guy
Diaz-
that we let go of willingly, is obviously he has his off days. I think
I didn't realize
he
how
is
tall
so
he is.
determined to keep going at 110% that I always admired him. I could see maybe why they got rid of him, but if I had to choose, obviously hindsight's
Baller.
2020. I would have even at the time preferred Diaz to stay over Gakpo. And it's just like you look at what he
Yeah.
can do in a team like this when you have Kane up front. Like if Diaz is not having a good finishing day, all he has to do is beat his man, press, and get that ball to Kane, and he will look phenomenal. And he scored that goal early in the season where I was just like, yeah, he's that good. Like he can be that good. Is he there all the time? No. But who is at this stage right now?
Yeah, it's Bayern are scary.
They're scary. I'd say them and obviously Arsenal will probably be the favorites based on their draw. But I think Bayern.
Yeah,
It's gonna be tough for Madrid if they ultimately go through to beat them.
I think
It'll be tough.
I think they're coming. Like some of those guys are going to be back though. Again, like it's Mbappe. It's like when Mbappe first joined, everyone's like, "Oh, Real Madrid like worse." I'm like, well, obviously you're introducing a guy who needs the ball a lot more and all that. And it's just about finding what clicks.
Yeah.
And yeah, Davies, I just want him to stay fit. I feel like he's rushing. He's been rushing back in a lot of. I mean, I haven't read too much into all these. Obviously, we know this one's not too serious,
Yeah.
but I think with the World Cup coming up, he obviously needs to like get in a good run of games going in, and this it could be a blessing in disguise. The bit of rest, considering the amount of games these guys play.
I know. For us,
but
for Team Canada fans, absolutely.
He needs to get going. I saw Buchanan just scored again for Villarreal recently because I know
He
he
looks
scored
good.
he scored that hat trick and then he didn't score, and then I think and then he just scored again, which is good. So yeah, I hope Davies can stay, but again, I get it, man. Like it's tough. You're trying to get back into the team too, and it's
Yeah, and you get paid. You get paid a whole lot more for Bayern than you do for Canada, and that's not just like make a comment on which one he'd prefer to play for. I think he'd obviously prefer to play at the World Cup. But when
Yeah.
you're healthy, like these guys will rush you back. And there's a big thing. There was a big stink. I don't know if it was last year or the year before that, where Bayern made a big deal out of Team Canada fielding him when he wasn't at 100%.
and then he got injured.
And then he got. I don't know if he got injured or not. He may have gotten injured.
was it
but
the
this is the
third place
reverse
game?
situation, huh?
It was the third place game, and I think he was already injured. It was what was that cup they did?
Oh, it was the Copa
was-
America.
Yeah, the Copa America. It was
Yeah.
a third place game or something, I think, and he
That
didn't
makes a
even,
lot of sense. Yeah,
But yeah,
because they performed great there. That you'll
I
see
mean-
that in my preview. I wrote about it just like a couple days ago. But
I mean, I'll play the U.S. any day.
if Davies is healthy, man, I think we could beat the US. But okay, let's keep it.
Yeah.
Let's keep it Champions League.
I want to ask Liverpool. I think again. I just think Bayern are on to the next. Let's talk about Galatasaray and Liverpool, and then like dive into Madrid and Spurs maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't watch too much of the Liverpool game. I'll be honest with you. I know you were texting me a bit during, and you kind of said before the game, "Do not touch it in any sorts." I was like, I will not.
Don't touch it. Don't bet on
Yeah.
it. Don't trust Liverpool. Literally, if there's one thing you can take from it right now. If Slot's still in, you just can't trust them to get a result. And remember what I was saying about like I've seen the same performance over and over. We lost in the groups to Galatasaray 1-0 in the exact same fashion. And maybe this time we came out of the blocks firing a little more, and maybe we didn't take a good chance because Wirtz had a clear-cut chance early on, and he didn't score it. Much like Ekitike had a chance later in the game, and he should have put it away, and he's on a little bit of a cold streak. But we concede from a set piece within the first 10 minutes, and then we look stale again. We're not creating enough, and Galatasaray, like, it's all well and good going to Galatasaray and you're going into the what do they call it? The gates of hell.
I was just gonna add before you win, and I know
Yeah.
that I was gonna say the one thing I will give is I'm pretty sure that's one of the like
Tough place.
loudest. It's a tough place to go for sure. Like the whistling and how intense that could be.
Oh yeah,
Again, Galatasaray I think are a great team too. Great team, bunch of workhorses and
great striker, debatably top 5 striker on the planet right now. Genuinely, I think Osimhen's great, and he opens up so much for them.
but still.
But that being said, we're losing to a midfield of Gundogan and Torreira.
Yeah. And you said
Like,
the common theme all year, stale.
Stale, lifeless, not creating enough. And again, this is going back on what I said. Slot goes to these press conferences. He says we don't take the big chances. Look at the XG after the game. And I'm not religiously looking at XG, but it does prove a portion of what kind of chances we're creating and missing. Galatasaray ended that game with more XG. So the conclusion is if we're not taking chances, like we're not getting as many chances. We're not getting as good quality chances. And that's an issue. It's an inherent issue that we can't find a way to do that or even just get a point out of that. Because even down the stretch of the game, I don't think it was good enough. I don't think it looked like we were ever going to equalize after Ekitike missed the chance. So do I think Slot is getting pretty unlucky with some of the chances missed? Sure. I don't think I hate the excuses. I hate the monotony. I hate the way we look. I just hate it. I don't have fun watching it.
If these chances were scored though and you guys are winning games, how would your opinion be on them though? Would it still be the same? Or would you be it's not
I
as
think
harsh?
if we take
maybe?
a 1-0 lead in Galatasaray, we leave at 1-1 because we cannot hold the lead to defend our lives. And I think that Slot is not the guy who's going to put his foot on your neck. I think he understands that the team's a little tired and he will take it back a little too early. And
Chiesa, man. I love him, bro.
who?
Chiesa.
Who?
Chiesa. What's his name? I'm blanking.
Galatasaray?
No, on Liverpool. Chiesa. How do I say his name, bro?
Chiesa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying cheese. Chiesa.
Yes,
Chiesa. Yeah. Yeah, I'm play him. He went on today. I think he got like 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes.
Yes, his Rio's broken.
Chiesa. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to drop his son, unfortunately. So if he's going to drop his son for anyone, it's going to be Rio. And
And
lately, even if Rio's playing, he'll just drop Ekatike anyways and throw Gakpo up top.
well,
So
Chiesa came on after. He was like the end of the game, like 88th minute, I
I,
think, or because Rio came off at
yeah,
60. It was Rio and Frimpong came
yeah.
off for Salah and Ekatike.
I think I think Chiesa is the experiment of him starting too many games is kind of over. Unfortunately, when he started early in the year, he didn't play well enough, and I concede that I probably wanted him to start too many games. But I will say that he should get like 20 minutes at the end of games that you need him because he's like a live wire off the bench, and
Just a workhorse.
he's a workhorse, and he's just direct. I love how direct. I love direct wingers. That's why I kind of made the comment about Doku. I don't think he's that direct. I think he's flashy. I think he's fun to watch. I don't think he's direct. I don't think he's as effective. And Chiesa has that sort of effective blow by that you can really trust. At least, especially coming off the bench when you need something. So I think there's a lot of things we can point to. I just think it was a predictable game that ended in a way that I'm not shocked. Like we lost 1-0. We're gonna go back to Anfield. I don't know if we're gonna get through that game.
Not going to
To be
start
honest with
Rio
you,
either. It seems like you and
probably not
City
gonna
are
start
doing a
Rio.
similar thing though, where you're playing certain guys, like you're mixing up your stronger ones and like other ones who may not start as much. And like obviously with this time, it's like this part of the year or whatever with the amount of
Yeah.
games they're playing. But yeah, like sure. I mean, Holland plays he was injured too, but I just think there's been like it's almost like you just can't play the same guys week in and week out because they just don't survive. They can't survive,
No,
especially the pace of the Premier League. I find that's like it affects the players like more versus like again, not bashing the Bundesliga, not bashing like La Liga. Like they're not playing the same caliber of teams and week in and week out. Like it's not as, and it's also it's different. It's not as intense. I would say it's still
Yeah.
hard on their bodies, but that's where I give a bit of wiggle room towards the Premier League players that are playing in Europe right now.
I'd say the different is key.
Yeah.
Like it's so much more physical in the Premier League. Whereas like
Yeah.
Verts would probably go to any other league and just look absolutely phenomenal. Where he needs an adjustment period of being physical. He needs to be a physical specimen to put up with the bodies and tackles and the at some points diving because it's just rife throughout the league.
Thought
I
the-
think you made a great point early in the podcast about City, about how they have the top tier of like older core guys and then the younger guys. Liverpool haven't bought well in terms of that thing you said, where we have like Van Dijk, Salah, Robbo, like guys who are in that sort of core that was present 8 years ago, and then they don't have a middle, and then they have guys who are from age all the way down to 17 up to about 24.
Yeah, because
And
like
maybe Mac falls out of that, but still.
like, you can't throw Jones into the middle. You can't throw him
No,
there.
Jones is like 23, I think.
Yeah,
23, 24.
I'm just trying to think who else. Gomez, you can't.
Gomez, older guard.
McAllister would be the only one I would actually say because.
But even then, he got brought in with Soboslai and Gravenberch, who are young guys inherently in their career. They're young
yeah,
in terms of their career, so there is
like
that
that middle
gap.
core is like gone. It's
Middle
it's
core's
so
gone. Yeah.
in a lot of teams though too.
Yeah.
Like it's just yeah, and
Everyone's
again,
trying to prepare with the youth, right? But they sacrifice some elite seasons in here, and sometimes it's not uniform, your growth, right? It's not going to be up and up and up every season. If that was the case, Chelsea would be second or third right now.
they got
They bought young.
lit up.
They thought they go eighth, fifth, fourth, and they keep going up, and now they're fourth, fifth, sixth. They're just going to keep doing this unless they really get some experienced guys in there to make their core more viable option for being consistent, winning a league or even winning cup competitions, because they're not doing that right now.
Could we just talk about quickly before I want to go to the next game? But as of right now, so you guys are fifth with 49th, Chelsea 48, Brentford 44, and like Everton are there. If you really think about it, like Everton are even like Newcastle 42. Like I know it's 7 points, but like there's still like a lot to like you never know.
Everton
As
being
crazy
right there
as-
within touching distance is like scary to talk about, and the fact
David
that we've kept the
Moyes.
coach this entire time, it
David
actually makes
Moyes.
me angry. Like the games I listed that we lost, like that made me angry because there's no way we should lose to some of these teams at home. There's no way that a team like Everton. Kudos to Everton. David Moyes is doing great with them, and he's got them playing how they should play. They're not a free flowing side. They are a team who's going to sit in a little bit, absorb pressure, and then they're going to outlet, and they're going to have like guys like Ndiaye, who I love. I think he's actually a phenomenal player.
Jack Grealish.
And Jack Grealish, who I haven't really seen play recently.
He's injured. He had a bad injury. He's done. I think. I've always loved
Oof.
Jack Grealish. I thought he was a great. I thought
I
it was
think he's a
good that
good
he was.
personality. I love him. I think he's a fun guy to watch. I think his mistake was moving from Villa, but how are you not going to?
I mean, yeah, he won the treble, bunch of prems, scored that one goal versus Arsenal. I love that
Yes,
goal.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love that
That
goal.
was a good call.
It's just you thought he was gonna take his shirt off, and then he just starts kicking the board. That was so funny. But yeah, no, I get the other blockbuster game, Champions League, Atletico 5. I think it was
Yeah,
4-0 in the first like 28. I don't know his name. That keeper I feel like really bad for.
I forgot. I think it's
Um,
Kinski. It was
yeah, I mean,
Kinski.
two mistakes out of those three were. I mean, the third one was obviously tough, tough, tough. But again, like you drop your starting keeper and you go. That's a tough place to go to as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's just humiliating. But no, I think I texted you. I said it was good that David De Gea made a note. Uh,
David De Gea is a class act, and as much as people probably forget about his time at United because they remember the last 2 or 3 years, there was a point in time where we thought he may be the best goalkeeper on the planet, and that's before we thought all the goalkeepers needed to play with their feet. Now, Liverpool fans shouldn't just outwardly say that. In general, I thought David De Gea. There was a game against Arsenal a few years back where they won 3-1 at Emirates, and he had like 14 saves, and he was just phenomenal. Like he is a
yeah,
cat in the middle of a goal. It doesn't mean he knows how to claim a cross
yeah. I'm
properly, but he was a phenomenal player, and I'm glad he came out to defend Kinski quite a bit because he needed it. Like it's a tough position for any solo young keeper to be in. Keeper's a tough position to play because all your mistakes are amplified.
what did I text you?
What
He
did you
pulled
text me?
I think I texted you during the game. He
Oh,
pulled a
he pulled the
Karius.
he pulled the curious, yes.
He pulled a Karius. I feel bad now. I'm like, oh, I mean, Karius stayed on them, but then the thing with that was Bale scored a bicycle kick that game too, right?
Oh, we don't even get into that. That's the greatest goal I've ever seen, and it was scored against us. I genuinely think it was
I'm
the
just
greatest
saying, but
goal
like
I've
as a
ever seen.
keeper, like I don't know if you could say this is the worst performance because I mean, Karius, you feel bad, but like the two those and that bike, but yeah, I mean, again, Spurs that game as well. I think there was no. I think he played. He got
Van de Ven played, and
he got like they crushed him.
I'm
He got
I'm
turned on the one goal.
I'm starting to think that maybe my my evaluation of him for the last couple of years is a little bit too simplistic because I think he's a great defender, but there's a certain like out of control aspect to him that makes me a little nervy if like say Liverpool were to buy him.
He's a
I don't think
bulldog.
he's worth 80 to $100 million.
He's gonna go for that
But
much
he's gonna
though.
go for that. There's gonna be a team who takes him for that, and I'm just praying it's not us because I think he's physically very good, very quick, but he has a little bit of the bozo gene that I thought was the bozo gene is what I like to call it for Lovren. Like Lovren had that bozo gene, and then every single center back that I see also have that. It makes me very wary, where it's like at any moment they can just change the game with a mistake, and I feel like that's a little bit of him. Now that could also just be Tottenham
Could also be
because
he's
Tottenham
hanging.
is just looking awful all the way throughout, and I wish we didn't tie them today so I could properly talk about it. But
He's hanging out with Romero too much. That's what's going on.
yeah,
He's just
Romero's a hothead. It's a
yeah.
hothead, decent
You'll,
player, but
you'll take him
hothead.
for a yellow card and he won't do anything, and then as soon as you don't, it's just a straight red.
Yeah,
It's just how it goes.
I don't know. Like you look at their squad, and I mean, the performance. I thought obviously I didn't know anything about Tudor when he came in. I knew they had to get rid of Thomas Frank because it was going nowhere fast.
You sent me the one he won every game that
He won
when
every
he's-
first game that he
first
it was
game,
pointed
yeah.
at a new club.
It's
I
just
think it was probably unlucky that it was Arsenal that they had to play, but
they
you went
they
from Arsenal 4-1, you lost 3-1 to Palace at home, then you get absolutely rocked, and your new coach puts Kinski on an island for whatever. I don't know why he starts him in the first place. Does he think that Vicario needs a change?
it was just to prove a point. I think it was just to prove a point. It was one of those and give someone a chance. But again, like
I'd
Spurs,
be
I've
livid
always
if
just
I was a
been
Spurs
like
fan.
Spurs is just it's just been like random. Even like some of the signings. Like I think Thomas Frank dropped Tell from the Champions League list or whatever. And I'm like,
Oh,
you spend he's not on the list. I'm pretty sure Thomas Frank dropped him, but like you spend all this money to bring him in from Bayern, and like he had a good. When I remember Bayern, he was like starting and scoring a lot, and then again,
yeah.
it's like Xavi Simmons. I was like, okay, I don't because he was looking at Chelsea too, and I still think this was like a weird move for him. That's why even like Kudus, because I thought Kudus would always go. I think Arsenal was interested for a while too, and it was just it's almost like these like I can't bash Spurs completely as a West Ham fan and be like it's going sideways or it's doing this because it's not like it's going up, but I don't know. Spurs have just it's been like when the Super League when they did and they're like we're going in the Super League. It's like come on.
You're gonna finish last in the Super League.
We're gonna get roasted by the Spurs fans, but you know what? It's fair. I'm
Rightfully so. I should get absolutely roasted. But I think
we're
what
in a
Liverpool fans are
relegation
good
battle.
at is like immediately making fun of each other because this should not go. Like we this whole result of today should not go. And I wish this didn't happen so I could speak openly about Spurs because I the Palace game shocked me. The Palace game before the Athletic game actually shocked me just as much as the Atletico one did. Because the Atletico one was really down to Kinski's errors. Realistically. He slips on the first one, they get a great chance. The second one I completely forget. I think Van de Ven's the one who slips.
He gets turned. He got turned, and then
He
they
gets
just put
turned
it.
because there was a ball that was bouncing and it just slips. And that could have
Yeah,
been a different Spurs defender. But again, it's another error defined by a goal. And then from the kickoff, they kick it all the way back to Kinski, and the poor guy just misses the ball. Which is
I
just, you
know.
can't do it at this level, but you feel like the guy wants to crawl into a hole.
And then you sub him off.
You sub him off at 15, like 15 to 20-ish minutes.
20. I think it was 28. He got subbed out. It was 28.
And then they can see, I completely forgot the fourth just because the three first ones are so daunting to look at and take in. But the tie's done. The tie's done by like the 30th minute of the first leg. And you're just like, God, it couldn't get any worse for Spurs. Turns out today it couldn't. Because
Yeah.
I thought maybe it could have gotten worse today, losing to a struggling Liverpool side at Anfield, but no. So I mean I don't think they'll go through in this tie. Athletic have too much structure, a coach
Yeah,
they believe in too much. It's not gonna happen.
They got quality, and that would be a scary place to go. If I was a player like that, that would be one place I would be scared to go. I would say
Well,
Atletico Stadium. I forget what it's called. I would say
Wanda
Anfield.
Metropolitano, something like that.
Yeah, Anfield would be. I mean, yeah, because Arteta's always. I remember when he did like the video or whatever, because like you can get like how loud it gets there.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love the way they built that little bowl section. That's actually that's where we beat Spurs. So maybe they have some bad memories in there. Let me tell you, I feel bad for them. But yeah, Spurs is gonna go crashing out of the Champions League. I don't think that's.
no, they're done.
It's 3 goals. It's the same with. We can talk maybe a little bit about Chelsea too. I didn't watch that game.
I tuned in for a couple. I think it was like 1-0, 1-1, 2-1.
Yeah, it went like this to get to 2-2, and then PSG scored kind of mid second half, and then added in 2 late ones because I love Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, that's who I
I'll
was
talk
gonna.
about him. Like he's
Oh
phenomenal.
man, again when he went Napoli to PSG, I was like, does this really like make sense? I mean,
It was
they
a great move.
won the
Yeah.
Champions League, Dembele's Ballon d'Or. I mean, Desiree Doué, that guy's just on fire. And then what's his Vitinha? Is it
Yeah,
Vitinha?
Vitinha is
He's
phenomenal.
been arguably one of the best midfielders, I would say too, and
And
that's
yeah,
where like. Yeah, I mean, again, Chelsea just I think it's stuck in that middle ground of not like you have Reece James who's been there for a while. Trevor Chalobah's been there for a while. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who. I mean, Sanchez you can't really say because he came a couple of years ago.
yeah, he came from Brighton. That's a bone I've had to pick with Chelsea for. Keep going.
No,
I'll
but
remember
I
that
was just gonna say again, like you have so many young. I mean, like Enzo Fernandez has been there for a while because he's been there since the World Cup. Pretty
Since
much.
the Bowley era took place, I remember Bowley got him as one of the first signings. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like their new manager. I don't know too much about him before. But again, Chelsea just it seems like I think it's a bit of they got some growing up to do and experience to gain, and I still think in a
Yeah.
couple of years from now they're still gonna be there and like improvements. But again, like what you've talked about, the amount of money they spent, the amount of time that's gone by since they've spent that money, they haven't Club World Cup okay, but I'm like it's also yeah.
I know.
PSG had a bone to
yeah.
bite.
It's a weird competition to win, right? Like I'll give them credit for it, but it's just sort of it's a weird competition to really base on what your project's doing. Because if you told me in 3 years that they were going to win the Conference League and Club World Cup, fantastic. But I mean, they didn't really earn their way to the World Cup the way that other teams who have won the Club World Cup in previous iterations have earned their way just to be in it, right?
Yeah.
Like they were in it because they won the Champions League with a different version of Chelsea. Wholly different. I think it was it Tuchel? Tuchel who beat City in the final. Like there was that's the
Yeah,
only
yeah, it was.
that's
Yeah.
the qualification that got them into this tournament.
which is
Um,
insane. Yeah,
which doesn't
it's
say anything because it's a completely new team with a new manager and a new owner. And I kind of want to talk about Bowley a little bit. Like, I don't. They
he's
spent a
not been in
lot of
the
money. They've gone purely young players, but you need like the Thiago Silvas. You need the guys who are older who can bring them through, and I don't think they have that. And it's shown whenever Cole Palmer goes out or comes back in. They're not great at adjusting.
no, you're right. That's a perfect way to put it. I mean, Todd Bowley, I would say you haven't seen much about him in the media. I know early on it was like they were always going around and doing all of that. And again, like I've seen
Yeah.
like even like Cole Palmer, like you can see in the field if someone messes up, you can see he's a little snippy. It almost seems. I'm not that he's like there's like a hierarchy and like I mean you can't. He's brilliant. Like I'm not. Yes, a lot of penalties, okay, but like you still got
Mhm.
to score them and all of that. But again, I just think it's yeah, even like Chelsea losing to Newcastle. Newcastle also coming off a
Yeah,
1-1 draw with Barcelona, which was
and playing
Newcastle.
better,
Yeah.
playing a lot better. That's probably another one we should touch on because I watched a little bit of that. Did you watch the Newcastle Barcelona game at all?
I did. I watched parts of it. I was kind of going back and forth. Beautiful goal, to be fair. It was a pretty wide open game, like back and forth, like
Hmm.
attacking, I will say. Lamal didn't really get into the game too much. Lewis Hall, man, what that guy has just been last few games I've watched him. Again, like he was great versus Chelsea. Barca, I thought he was shut them all down for the most part. Rafinha was out of it. It seemed
Hmm.
when I was surprised they didn't start Rashford. I'll be honest with you. He seems like a player that would be kind of built for that type
Oh,
of game.
yeah, yeah, I agree with you.
Um, yeah, I didn't. Again, yeah, it's one of those weird things. Chelsea just I don't. It's just all over the place.
I know. I like so.
Garnacho,
Newca- yeah, I know. Going on the Newcastle game, that's probably the game I've enjoyed most out of the week's games that I
yeah,
watched. It was open, it was free flowing. Even though it was 0-0 for the majority of it, it didn't mean that either team wasn't giving. Like they're all in. They weren't just set up in these shapes that were set up to keep it at 0-0 or keep their side at nil. Newcastle just keep going, and I really admire Newcastle for what they've built in spite of a bad transfer window. Purely bad. They overpaid for Voltamata. They got Alanga, who's quite possibly the worst out of the entire transfer window that no one's really mentioning. Like they
he's
got him
at
from Forest for a decent amount of money, and whenever I've watched him, he has not performed every single time.
yeah, he's inconsistent. I mean, he is a workhorse. I was gonna say too. It's like Chelsea. The one good business they made was I love Noni Madueke. I think he's great. I think it was a good signing too. But yeah, no, just to go back to that. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's Newcastle Forest was great, and I think Camp Nou now is that's the problem. I think for Newcastle,
Yeah, they
it's
needed to hold on to 1-0 for sure.
yeah.
Like they deserved to get it to 1-0, and it was honestly they probably deserved to win the game. Out of the only thing is that the last kick of the game, the guy, I think it's
It was a
Olmo.
pen. It was a
Olmo
pen.
beats him off the dribble, and
You gotta let him go. That's where
he
like
lets
the
his leg
little
out, and you got to let
yeah
him go. It's tough
yeah
in the moment, but you got to let him go because it's a penalty. It's a clear penalty. Um, yeah, and Barcelona gets got a little lucky in that, but you create your own luck. Got it to 1-1. I think it's tough for Newcastle going to the Camp Nou, but listen, I think they're playing great. I don't know if it's just it's pretty simple to say maybe Barcelona's going to win this, and they probably will. But I back Newcastle to give them like a great account of themselves. I think they
okay.
really will. They work hard. They have a great stadium. They have a great atmosphere, and they just have workhorses. I enjoy watching them play in the European nights. I really
I,
do.
I I was gonna ask you your opinions because I was thinking about this a lot. It's crazy to see, I find like kind of those teams like Barcelona all that and they play a team like Newcastle runs like they run
Yeah,
and
they
I
outwork
don't
you.
I don't think Barcelona run as like in La Liga and like they're not running as much. So that's why I
Hmm.
find like it's so hard for those teams because like when they don't have the ball, like the pace of that what like Newcastle is like attacking. I mean, besides Real Madrid, obviously Atletico Madrid, like it's still like intense and fast, but I just think it's like the just how and like also that crowd too is just like
They look
I just
shocked. They look stunned, the Barcelona players, that they were coming up against this. Because as the
and
second half waned on, it mattered less about technical ability and more about passion, getting the ball
yeah.
back, winning a
And
50-50.
And Newcastle too, I'm with you. I think they're like Eddie Howe. I love him as a manager, and I also think what's been really good. There doesn't seem to be a lot of egos there. I thought. I mean,
No,
Anthony Gordon left Everton when they were kind of in that relegation battle for a little bit, and
it was
I
a
was
decent
like, hey,
pickup.
you know
Yeah.
what? He's a bit of a hothead. I don't really know. And again, he's been. I've seen him spoken in the media a few times, and he
Mhm.
seems like a very calm, relaxed, good head on his shoulders, and like he can't. Again, he scored versus Chelsea, and like I think maybe statistically, I think they was like his second Premier League goal this year. So he hasn't
Yeah.
done. But again, like he works hard, he's quick, and like he didn't even start first Barca, too. Which
No,
I
no. I do think Newcastle, if they're willing to keep going with the transfer window stuff, they need to buy better because I think they wasted a fair bit of that Isak money. Because I think the key mistake they made was trying to convince him to stay or just saying no. And that's easy for me to say as a Liverpool fan because they really waited us out. But if you know someone doesn't want to stay there, you have to get rid.
yeah, it's
You
bad.
have to
It's
get
bad.
rid and reinvest it properly because what they did from that is Voltamata's not starting games anymore. Like it's Osula, another new signing
He's been
that
injured, has he not?
he's been
I
a
think
little injured, I think, but he's decent. He's a good player, and he could turn into a great player. I have no idea. I haven't watched enough of him,
yeah, that
but he's a good
penalty,
player.
that
He's
one
a good player.
penalty.
Sorry?
Have you seen that one penalty where he just literally puts it like to the top corner?
Oh no!
It's like
no.
yeah,
Oh, that's
it's-
Voltamata. That's
yeah,
Voltamata.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
one.
I know.
No.
And
He's got a
Voltamata
bit
had
of
a great
swagger.
start. He's a tall dude, so he can whip balls into him and
He
stuff.
loves the Prem. He's just like he looks like a Prem player.
He
Gives-
does
it,
kind
gi-
of.
gives like a bit of Peter Crouch to
German
me,
Peter
kind
Crouch,
of.
absolutely. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Do you want to start to touch on any of the last bit of games here? I didn't watch any of this game, but I kind of just wanted to mention Bodo Glimpse as just as a footnote.
dude, and I know we're like not like to go too much into the betting thing, but they were like plus 135, I think, going into the game. I think it was something like that, but again, great
Yeah.
story. I haven't actually sat down and properly watched them play, but I
Mhm.
hope they keep going. And this is, yeah, they're the dark horse for sure right now. No
Yeah.
other team is, yeah.
I genuinely appreciate when we have these Champions League teams that you just don't expect to make these deep runs, make them. I can think of two off the top of my head from last maybe decade. It's the AS Monaco team that had Mbappe, Falcao, Fabinho, Bernardo Silva when they were all young, that team. And it was the Ajax team that almost made
that's
it.
what I
and,
was gonna
and
say,
Tottenham beat them out in the last
Lucas
second.
Moura, and then we had
Lucas
the worst
Moura,
Champions
yeah.
League final ever.
Absolutely.
Liverpool won, so you're not going to say anything.
But going back to Bodo, like they feel like they're going to be grouped in with that because I didn't watch the Sporting game. There were better games on, to be completely honest with you.
Oh yeah,
But
like, no, it's nothing against them, but I was like, I
I want to
thought it
see
was
what they
gonna
look
be-
like against Arsenal next round if that's the case. But to look at them, I watched them play against Inter Milan in the playoff round, the first leg, and I watched them play. I think it was a group stage game, and maybe it's simplistic to say it. I haven't watched enough of them. They just play like a team.
They got
Like
nothing to lose.
they're egoless all the
Yeah.
way down. They're completely egoless. And that's probably simple to say. You can be egoless and be bad.
No fear,
But
yeah,
they
it's-
have
it's
no
easy, yeah.
fear. They beat City, Atleti, and another team with a tough schedule down the stretch just to get into the round. Like
Yeah,
just to get into the playoff round, they needed to win out, and they did. And it's just phenomenal. Like, what a story! Because they had
Is
no
it-
right to get in there after their first 5 games in the Champions League, and then they've just turned into this like unstoppable little machine of guys who are taking on the top teams and making them look pretty foolish on the ball. They pass the ball great.
Is it them or young boys who play on turf? I think it's young boys
No,
play on turf.
they probably both do but I know for a fact they do because I think they do because they play in Norway, right? Because it's too cold year round to keep
Their
like
their
living
season's
grass going.
Their
huh?
season's. I think their season's done. Like they're just playing Champions League right now. I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
what
Is, is it? Maybe I may be wrong on that. Don't
No,
quote
you're
me, but
correct. They do the calendar year season where it starts in like
that's
March.
crazy. That's crazy.
Because like
Eh,
they'll do that, Sweden will do that, like Ireland will do that, where they start it at a different time, but that doesn't change the Champions League format for them. Like I think they lost the Norwegian League. They lost it to a Viking, not to a Viking, to the team Viking.
yeah.
That sounds crazy.
No,
'cause
no,
we're
no,
not,
no.
We're not talking about the
Obviously,
Norwegian
no,
League at all,
yeah,
but
no.
they
No.
lost the league. They're just a fun team, man. I genuinely
Gonna
I get
have
the
to-
same feeling from them without the star power. that I did with Ajax because I love Tadic, right? So I love that old Ajax team.
I
Um,
think I'm gonna try and watch them this week because I mean PSG. I don't know if Chelsea are gonna because Chelsea got to win what 3-0 to tie. They got to win 3-0
no,
to
yeah,
tie it.
I mean, I hope
I,
that if you do watch them, watch. I don't think they're just gonna sit back on the 3 goal lead because they led 3-1 against Inter after the first leg and they played phenomenal, and then they went to Inter and they're not gonna sit in and just try to win by a goal. Like they'll keep
no,
going,
it's
and
yeah.
I hope they go through. I hope that way
At least
that
yeah.
they play doesn't come back to bite them. But I
Um,
thoroughly enjoy watching them. I want to see what they would look like against Stars.
yeah. I hope so too. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Is there any other games that you wanted to mention in the UCL? I think we covered most of them.
I think we covered them all. I mean, yeah, Arsenal, Bayer Leverkusen, but it was honestly not a lot to go. Penalty probably shouldn't have been, but I think we touched on it for the most part. But other than
Yeah,
that, yeah, that's
I
all
think
the UCL.
my last comment about that penalty is that I'm getting quite tired of that.
They look for it. They're literally looking for it. And we have VAR and all of
I'm
this
getting
stuff.
quite tired of the VAR not finding it because the VAR should see that. I don't think the ref should see it. The ref is at an angle. Like if you watch the replays back, the ref is at an angle where he has no clue if the contact is made. He just sees Madueke go down. Therefore, he gives the penalty. I don't blame him for seeing because he's looking straight on, right? So it makes no sense to get on the referee for that. But for the VAR to not even send him over to the monitor is just bizarre to me. Because if there's even a little contact, I'm quite tired of them looking at it and going, oh, if there's contact, we'll give him it. No, I think you
Yeah,
should evaluate, is the contact enough to warrant it? And it's a straight up dive. It
if
could be given
VAR
a
are
simulation.
unaware, I think both of them should be looking at it at the same time. I don't get it where one's watching it and one's not. I know the ref
Mhm.
only has this but like at the end of the day, it's his decision to make like the final call on it. And
I
I'm
just
with
think
you,
it's an
but again,
obvious
and
one.
like those goals like change ties. Like it's like Newcastle winning 1-0 going away. You're going in like having more confidence, and now it's like
Mm.
Bayer Leverkusen going to the Emirates. You're up 1-0. Like it's you could drop back maybe a little bit more.
Different.
But
Yeah.
now, but I'm also like, I guess maybe. What's your opinion on away goals? Not because they're not involved anymore. I don't. Yeah, away
I mean,
goals
that,
are.
that kind of phased out a while ago. I actually quite liked away goals. I understand why. Maybe that's just sort of like a novelty that I like. I just like the novelty of away
Could
goals.
be grew up on it
But
too.
I will
Yeah.
say it does open up every leg. So the first leg doesn't turn into a snooze fest when you have, say, like a Bodo Glimt thinking like, oh, if we kept it to 0-0, that's a great result. So it's different. It opens up the game a little bit more, which is I approve of. But I do, for some reason, I just love the novelty of the away goals. It's a weird, different rule that no other sport has. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I completely understand why they did away with it.
So
What do you think?
it's tough. There's like pros and cons to each. I mean, it's like imagine you go away and you lose 3-1 and then you win 2-0 at home and then you go away you go through just solely off that. Like, again,
Mhm.
it creates another unknown. I think that's
Mhm.
another thing, but it's worked so far, I think, and I think kind of people were getting sick of it. Like that's where it's was it Spurs that went away when they beat Ajax? To was it or
Yes, yeah, because it was because Ajax had won 1-0 at Spurs State at White Hart Lane. I don't know if they're like the new White Hart Lane.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like where you go away then, and it's
And then Ajax will
I
go up 2-0 at home and you think it's done and over, but if Spurs can just get up to that same total.
can also be biased both on both sides because you could have fans of one team where they've lost, like maybe going through a couple times in away goals,
Oh, yeah.
and now they change it, and they're like, no, 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 no,
I know.
you just gotta go through what we went
I know.
through. It's like I'm a West Ham fan, so I can't really say because I've never really experienced it. I mean, like Conference League, I mean, we won, so we never really.
Yeah, I don't think you ever tied on the goals, did
No,
you?
I
Yeah.
don't think so. But yeah,
The thing I think they should have done with it, if I had to pick and choose, is that once extra time starts, like say away goals would stay, when extra time starts, the away goals rule is off. Because I remember
that'd be
when
good.
Remember when Liverpool lost to Athletic. I think everyone remembers this. When Liverpool lost to Athletic when we were having that dream season and COVID hit. It was like the last game before COVID. And
Yeah.
Athletic, we went up 2-0 at the start of extra time, and then they scored. But that goal meant that they were leading in the tie. But it's
I
kind of
know.
unfair because you play more time at your place than theirs. Therefore, they have a more valuable goals for a longer period of time. That's what I thought they should have done. But I'm not, and I don't know. I shouldn't. I don't think there's any need for me to argue about the away goals rule because it's a cool novelty, but I get why they did away with it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I have no complaints for it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, should we wrap up?
Yeah, well, we got some exciting games coming up this week, I think, and yeah, I guess overall average weekend for a West Ham fan, and I would say extremely
Yeah.
below par for any Liverpool fans.
It's a good weekend for West Ham. Another tough one for us. But again, like it's comparative. Like you guys are battling relegation. We're complaining that we're not making top four. So it's a different comparative issue we're facing. But I'm excited for the next week's EPL games, and yeah, Champions League should be good. I think we'll tune into those.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Cheers.